Today's question is from our most dedicated and loyal athlete named Joan, who also happens to be my mother. She had a follow-up on one of what we were talking about last week about nutrition while you're running. And so what she was wondering is kind of what length of runs should you take nutrition on? What length of runs should you take water on? She sees people out on the pathways all the time running with water bottles and wanted to know if she should have one, how long you're out there for, if you actually should bring something with you. So this one is going to really depend. Obviously, in the wintertime when it's cooler, you can tend to get away a longer period of time without having to take water because it's cooler, you're not sweating as much, and just your desire to drink is usually a little bit lower in the wintertime. In the summertime, as it gets hotter, it's a little bit more common to bring water with you. My kind of general rule of thumb is kind of anything 90 minutes and under. You generally don't need to bother bringing food. You don't need to generally bother bringing water unless you're specifically like trying to practice like eating while you're running, if you're fueling for a race or something like that. If you're trying to practice that, then you can definitely do it. But pretty much anything under 90 minutes, not super important to take food or water with you. As you approach that 90 minutes, it's kind of right on that limit where kind of that's how much carbohydrate you generally have stored in your body. So anything past that 90 minutes, it's a really good idea to fuel for that type of a run. So whether that's bringing some gels with you, whether that's bringing kind of some real food with you to snack on while you're out there. If you're just a little bit over the 90 minutes, you're probably okay. But if you're going to be out there for 2-3 hours, something like that, that stuff you definitely want to fuel for. My rule for water is really similar, where kind of anything 90 minutes and under, unless it's like a scorching hot day outside, the likelihood that you're going to dehydrate yourself significantly over the course of that 90 minutes isn't that substantial. So you can bring water with you if you find that your mouth gets dry and you'd like to have a bit of water with you. Go for it, but for the most part, you don't need to have water with you for those shorter runs. As length gets longer and longer and longer, kind of like I was saying, that 90 minute plus, that's when I like to start practicing fueling like you would in a race. So that's when all of a sudden you're switching over to your fueling plan that you're going to use for the race you're training for. So you're taking in your set amount of calories, you're taking in your set amount of fluids, and practicing that nutrition strategy as you go through the race. So that's, in a nutshell, whether or not you should bring water with you.